हेलो फ्रेंड्स। इंडिया में बहुत सारे फेस्टिवल्स मनाए जाते हैं, लेकिन कुछ फिल्में ऐसी होती है जिनकी रिलीज ही एक फेस्टिवल या इवेंट के समान होती है। जी हाँ, मैं बात कर रहा हूँ SS राजामौली की रुद्रम रणम रुधिरम यानी कि RRR की, जिसकी चर्चा आज हम करेंगे हमारे पॉडकास्ट सिनेमा सिनेमा के 25th एपिसोड में, जिसमें मैं केयूर आपका स्वागत करता हूँ। Yes, we have completed 25 episodes and all thanks to you for that. And today we have Sinestan's South correspondent Haricharan Hari with us to talk about RRR. Hi Hari, welcome to the show.
Hi, Keyur. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And congratulations on completing 25 episodes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I believe you went for a 6 a.m. show. Have you done this before?
Oh, yeah. So for all the big star films in South, especially in Chennai, this is like a normal routine.
Oh, okay.
For a film like, Rajinikanth or Vijay or Ajit's film, we usually have these 4 a.m. shows, 3 a.m. shows. So this is not new to us, not new to me. So, yeah, I've experienced this, hysteria before.
Oh, okay. So firstly, what is the film about? I mean, we saw the trailers and it seems like it is based on India's freedom struggle. But what is the basic story of the movie?
It's a very simple plot. I mean, if you look at Rajamouli's films, all his films are very, very, simple plot, like very thin storyline. Like, plot is very simple. A girl from a village gets taken, and the guy who kind of protects that village from a tribal area, he goes after, her, in the sense like he wants to save her and bring her back. And he happens to meet Ramcharan. So this guy is Junior NTR, and he happens to meet Ramcharan in the process.
Okay.
And what happens between them, the bond they develop, and why they fight the British, and why they join forces, that forms the story. That's it. Very simple.
Okay. So now the most obvious and the most predictable question: how is the film overall?
See, I really loved it because if you know what Rajamouli is capable of delivering, and if you set the right expectations and you walk in, you will be, satisfied. I mean, he delivers what the promos promised. And if you were someone who loved the Baahubali films and expected, something even more bigger in terms of cameos, RRR delivers that. There is no doubt about it. Yeah.
Okay. So what exactly did you like? What are the biggest positive point about the film for you?
Yeah, I think this has again been this has been a routine with Rajamouli's films, is that he uses emotions very, very strongly in his stories.
Okay.
See, I mean, if you look at his films, most of his films, in fact, almost all of them have been typically about revenge. Something happens and someone has to take revenge. That's it. That's been the core plot point of his stories. And he feels revenge is the strongest emotion. And when you use that, tell a story and, mix it, in the large canvas and, give audiences the big action set pieces and stars to kind of take them onto the big stage and the big screen, audience will love it. That's what it did with Baahubali, even with the Magadira, where he used the concept of reincarnation. But then again, if you look at it, it's a revenge story.
Okay.
So the same happens here, yeah.
And as we know, Baahubali was enormously successful. People loved it, and it also did some great business at the box office. So do you think, so there were expectations from RRR, so you feel the expectations were met by this film?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure the first day numbers are going to be huge. I mean, we'll get to know them in a few hours. It's definitely going to be huge. See, one thing that might be a small concern for the movie is its running time.
Okay.
Because it's 3 hours and 6 minutes, the Telugu version. I think the Hindi version is 5 minutes shorter, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it is 4-5 minutes shorter, yeah.
Correct. Yeah, the Telugu and Tamil versions are 3 hours and 6 minutes long, which is probably the longest Rajamouli film ever. Even his Baahubali series were, much shorter. So if you're someone, who can't sit through these long hours of, watching the movie.
Someone is not used to that, yeah.
Correct. But then again, on the flip side, the way he immerses you into the world, and he uses those massive action set pieces to keep you glued. Trust me, you won't even mind sitting through the movie for 3 hours. Like, you wouldn't even realize that it's been 3 hours.
Okay, so the tempo is maintained throughout the film. So I've seen in our films, I mean, in the second half, sometimes the pace drops somewhere. So does it happen here?
Correct. It does. When we actually get to the backstory involving Ajay Devgan, the film does dip a bit, but then it gives the correct amount of emotional pull to kind of establish the climax sequence, which is what 15 to 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But the film does dip in the second half because the first half is extraordinary. I mean, you have some amazing action sequences.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a lot of drama involving, these characters. Ajay Devgan comes into the story, and we get to know who he plays and what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it does dip a little bit, but then it kind of makes up with how it ends with the bang. Yeah.
Okay, so it is worth, yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely.
Okay, and the film stars two big names, Junior NTR and Ram Charan. So how have they performed?
See, I think they were great, man. See, what really worked in the film's favor is that, even though they come together at one point and become friends in the story, these two guys are actually really good friends in real life. I mean, if you followed the promotion interviews, they've spoken about how, they've kind of hung out together over the years. And in fact, Ram Charan's birthday is on Sunday. And I think in one of the interviews, NTR said his wife's birthday is on 26th.
Oh, acha.
So when the clock strikes 12 on 27th, like midnight, Ram Charan, would land at his house and he would pick NTR and go. They would go out, and kind of have fun.
Uh-huh.
So his wife would ask him, where are you going? It's my birthday. And he says, your birthday is over. It's my friend's birthday now, so I'm going out with him. Oh. So what happens is, because they're so close, it reflects so naturally on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
They don't actually have to put in so much of effort to, play those, bring out those emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the film's crucial scenes, the action scenes, to bring out that emotion, it works well. And even in the film's very, lightest, tender moments, light-hearted moments, they still make it work, with their camaraderie. Yeah.
Oh, and both these actors have their own respective fan following, which is also huge.
Yeah.
So has the filmmaker been able to do justice to both the characters, to both the actors rather?
Absolutely. I mean, he gives both of them probably one of the best introduction sequences of their careers. Yeah. It's probably, the way Rajamouli visualizes, these scenes is something that we can never understand as a cinema-going audience. I mean, we are literally mesmerized by the way he visualizes these scenes.
Uh-huh.
Like, those introduction sequences clearly indicate what these characters are, and what are they so strongly known about.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he establishes this character. So yeah, they get good screen space, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my grouse is that some of the supporting cast members hardly get any, importance.
Okay.
The spotlight is always on these two. Yeah.
Okay. And you spoke about Ajay Devgan. So, but the film also has Alia Bhatt. So, is she playing an important role in the film?
Yeah, she's paired opposite Ram Charan and plays a character called Sita. And then somewhere, we get this Ramayana connection of Ram and Sita.
Okay.
But then it's a very mythological, connection that's drawn into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then Ram's character is actually designed after, a real life revolutionary called Alluri Sita Ram from Andhra. Yeah. So you have this connection, but I was a little disappointed to see Alia not get enough space, because if I'm not wrong, she exactly comes in 3 scenes. These are very, very small scenes. There is one scene which is slightly longer, but then to see someone, play a Gangubai just a few weeks ago and, and kind of nail that character, with so much of energy and, and really make us root for her.
Mm-hmm.
To see her, not getting enough due in this movie, I was slightly disappointed by it.
Okay. And I've been reading that the interval point of this movie is one of the best intervals. This is what I've heard from people. But I don't want you to tell us what exactly happens in the interval, but did you also feel that it's one of the best interval portions?
Yeah, absolutely. See, just as I mentioned, a few seconds ago, I don't understand how Rajamouli visualizes these scenes. To visualize them on paper it's a different thing. But to kind of bring it on the big screen, and to execute it is, you need to be someone so different. You need to trust your team as well, right? I can write whatever I want on a piece of paper. I can say, I want this to happen, I want this to happen, I want, a bang here, I want, a big, let's say, a chase sequence here. I can write a lot of stuff, but to pull it off and to make it, look wow on the screen, you need to have a great team. And you also need to have that vision to, kind of see what will happen. So yeah, absolutely, man. It was See, it was bonkers, okay? And only Rajamouli can pull it off. It was so crazy. Like, you want to look at it and ask yourself, okay, what did I just see? But then, okay, wow. I loved it, so I don't mind. So it's like that.
I haven't seen the film, but you are increasing my excitement for the same. I'll be watching it soon then.
You should definitely.
So, as we know, this is a mass entertainer. It's a massy film. So, there need to be some good songs and enjoyable music. So, what do you think about the music of this film?
Oh, music is great because Rajamouli and Keeravani, they've been a very successful combo. They've worked together on so many of their films. I mean, in fact, if I'm not wrong, all of Rajamouli's films have had music by Keeravani because they're also related. So they work together. Yeah, so the background score is great, and Nacho Nacho song featuring Haricharan and NTR. I don't know where you're going to watch it, but if you watch it on a single screen, I mean, where I watched it, they paused the movie and played the song again.
Acha, I've never seen this in my life.
Okay. This happens a lot in the South.
Acha,
not in recent past at least, I mean, it used to happen like, some 10, 15 years ago that, they would stop after, a successful song and they would play it again. But I was surprised, it happened this morning, when the movie, because audience went crazy for that song, the entire dance sequence. So they played it again. Yeah.
I have seen so many films in my life in theaters, so many masala entertainers, but this is unheard of for me to play the song again. I've never seen this. Yeah, I can imagine what it must have been. And coming to the technical side, how is the cinematography? It looks great from the trailer. How did you find it on the big screen?
No, I loved it. Again, Senthil Kumar is a constant collaborator with Rajamouli. Like I said, to kind of bring his vision onto the screen, only someone who can understand what he wants can pull it off.
Right.
I think Senthil Kumar, even with the Baahubali films or with the films before that, I think he has a perfect understanding of what Rajamouli wants. So it actually reflects on the screen. And it's a treat to watch on the IMAX screen. If you get a chance, please watch it on IMAX.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
It's a film for the biggest screen possible,
okay. And the trailer gave me a feeling. I've seen the trailers on YouTube and I've also seen the trailers in theater when I've gone to watch other films. And somewhere it did feel that the film is quite loud. The background score is quite loud. This is what I felt. So, you felt the same, or is it normal for a Rajamouli movie?
See, like I said, Rajamouli has mentioned this in some of his interviews. To kind of to put those emotions across, into the mind and hearts of the audience, they need to be loud. You need to just move them with emotion so much that, you get immersed in it. That's how he sees, the loudness in his movies. Be it with the overall, movie or the background score or the way he, shoots certain sequences. That's how it has always been, and it has worked in his movies.
Okay. And now coming to the big question about the box office. The film has a huge budget, over 300 crore or something. And you also did an article on this. And it needs to earn, I think, more than 700 or 750 crore in order to be considered a blockbuster. So do you see this happening? Do you think it will replicate what Baahubali did at the box office?
Yeah, as far as I know, it should do those numbers. But I don't know how they will do region-wise, how they will do language-wise. Overall, I think it should comfortably, cross, the numbers that, they should make to be termed a blockbuster. Because of, the factors that we've already talked about, one being a Rajamouli film and two, having two of these biggest stars come together and, deliver such a strong performance. I think all these factors put together, it should work. And as I mentioned earlier, if there is factors that might stop it, from a certain extent, it has to be the running time. If the makers kind of decide to, probably chop off 5-10 minutes in the second week, then it might even have like a much, much better chance.
Okay. So they have passed one test of making a very interesting film. So the other test remains. So I guess we'll need to wait for a week to see how the film performs at the box office. So we will have a look at the film's box office performance in our next episode. And thank you, Hari, for giving such detailed analysis of the film. So we'll be back with another episode. We'll speak about RRR's box office performance. Till then, keep listening to Cinema.
अगर आपको ये पॉडकास्ट पसंद आया तो लाइक, सब्सक्राइब और शेयर ज़रूर कीजिएगा। अपने कमेंट्स सिनेस्तान.com के YouTube चैनल पर भी छोड़ सकते हैं। कीप लिसनिंग टिल नेक्स्ट टाइम।